Mariquitas. The congri was marvelous. Mommy and Lisa licked their fingers while they said how good it turned out. The only thing that felt strange was that Mommy didn't ask me how I'd done it. I think she suspects that it was Grandma's recipe because it tasted almost exactly like the congri she used to make. But Mommy didn't say a word. Now that I think about it, she doesn't talk about Grandma at all. It's as if Grandma was still sitting in her room watching the telenovela. Or even worse, as if she'd never even been here with us. Lisa talks about Grandma, but whenever she does, Mummy changes the subject. Yesterday, I went to the supermarket with Doña Esperanza because Mommy started working on Saturdays too. She says that without Grandma's Social Security check, we no longer have enough to pay the bills. How I wish she didn't have to work so much. What do you need, mija? Asked Doña Esperanza. Rice, beans, bread, I say, trying to remember the few dishes that I know how to prepare. And green plantains. What about chicken? Or meat, she asks. Or has that Lisa turned you into a vegetarian? Or has that Lisa turned you into vegetarians? Lisa is not a vegetarian, I correct her. She eats chicken. Well, I think a good piece of meat would do her some good, she says. That woman is so thin that if a strong wind hit her, she'd end up miles away. I don't know how to cook anything with meat yet, I tell her. You'll get there, she says, while she puts some packs of meat into the cart. Unlike my mom, Doña Esperanza loves to talk about Grandma. She told me that after Grandma moved here, she was the first person that my grandma met. Since Doña Esperanza is Puerto Rican, she felt the same sense of nostalgia for her island as Grandma did for hers. That's how they shaped their friendship, talking about the food and people that they'd left behind. And since they were neighbors, they'd talk all the time. They'd sit down on the front stoop, talking about the neighborhood, the telenovela, the news, everything except sad topics. At least, they never seemed sad to me. I'm learning to fix Grandma's recipes, I tell Doña Esperanza. Que bueno, she says. You know, your grandma promised she'd teach me how to make her famous ropa vieja. But between one thing and the next, she got sick, and we never got around to it. Well, if she sends me the recipe, I'll share it with you, Doña Esperanza, I tell her. I stare at her to see if she'd look at me funny. Thank you, Nena, she responds. I'd love that. I couldn't understand why all the adults seemed to think it was perfectly normal that Grandma was sending me letters from the beyond, but my friends who spent their days reading books about fairies and wizards were convinced that I'd completely lost my mind. It didn't make any sense. When we get home, I asked Doña Esperanza to teach me how to make fried plantains, because on her island this is also a popular dish. Amarillos, she said. Of course. At home, we always had plantains. Green, yellow, and black. One time, Karen and Sylvia were at the house, and Grandma took out a ripe plantain. Karen thought it was spoiled, and if she ate it, she'd get sick. The dummy didn't say anything until Sylvia was about to eat one of the fried plantains on the table. Karen grabbed at her hand very hard, so she couldn't eat it, but Sylvia had already taken a bite. She nearly choked when Karen told her that it was a black banana and it would make her sick. When I translated to Grandma what was going on, she laughed so hard she had to leave the kitchen to catch her breath. When she returned, she asked for me to translate for her. When plantains are fried green, they turn crunchy and are eaten with salt, she said, like mariquitas, which happens to mean ladybugs, and the tostones, that are just like mariquitas but bigger. When plantains go from yellow to black, it's because they are very ripe. That means they will be very sweet when you fry them. Celeste, you're going to kill me, Karen said. First, you serve me a black plantain, and then you tell me that the green ones are filled with ladybugs. Grandma thought the whole thing was hilarious. After having a nice laugh, she took out a green plantain and sliced it into little rounds. She pointed to the plantain's little black specks. Mariquita, she said slowly. Karen and Sylvia repeated after her. Ladybug, Sylvia told Grandma. And Grandma repeated slowly, Ladybug. The memory makes me change my mind, and I asked Doña Esperanza to make mariquitas instead. Even though I already know how to prepare them, Mommy doesn't let me fry things by myself because she's afraid the oil will splatter and I will get burned. Between the two of us, we cut the plantains into thin slices, and Doña Esperanza fries them. I think about my friends talking to Grandma and get a little sad, but Monday will be another day.